Good evening, I'm Smriti Rastogi with India Votes, and before we get started with the bulletin, a quick look on the top headlines. India is all set for the 7th phase of Lok Sabha polls tomorrow. Close to 14 crore voters expected in 89 seats spread across 7 states and 2 union territories. Telangana will vote for its first ever assembly tomorrow. Over 1,600 candidates in fray for the 119-seat assembly. Several key heavyweights are in fray for tomorrow polls. Crucial test for Modi, Sonia and Rajnath. And campaigning continues in full steam for the remaining 2 phases of polls. Rahul, Priyanka and Modi hold multiple rallies. India is all set for the 7th phase of Lok Sabha elections on Wednesday. As many as 89 seats spread across 7 states and 2 union territories will be at stake in this phase. This will be the 4th largest phase in terms of number of seats up for grabs. Here is a look at this report.
The 7th phase of Lok Sabha elections will be held on Wednesday. Voting will take place for all 26 seats in Gujarat, 17 seats in the Telangana region, 9 in West Bengal, 14 in Uttar Pradesh, 13 in Punjab, 7 in Bihar and 1 each in Jammu and Kashmir, Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu. In all, 89 seats are at stake in this phase of polls. Close to 14 crore people will exercise their franchisee to decide the fate of over 1,200 candidates. Many of them are heavyweights. Election Commission has made elaborate arrangements to ensure free and peaceful voting.
जो 3 चरण के चुनाव हुए हैं, जो शांतिपूर्ण चुनाव हुए हैं, उसमें इक्का दुक्का घटनाओं को जहां पे रीपोल की ज़रूरत हुई है उसको छोड़ के पूरा चुनाव अच्छी तरह से संपादित हुए और ये जो चौथा चरण है वो थोड़ा बड़ा है जो पिछले उसके मुकाबले हर एक पोलिंग स्टेशन की संवेदनशीलता को आंका गया है.
On the day of polling, not only will we be having deployment of central paramilitary forces, we would be having state armed police personnel, we would be having webcasting, videography and micro observers at the polling stations.
Besides the Lok Sabha polls, Telangana region will also vote for its first assembly simultaneously. More than 1,600 candidates are in fray for 119 assembly seats in the newly formed state. Close to 3 lakh voters will decide the fate of the candidates.
So today we are having the last summing up review now with all the DEOs, all the SPs and all the commissioners of police. We have got sufficient number of polling personnel. We have got EVMs also. And we have been in touch with the contesting candidates if they have got any problem. So as of now, the entire situation is very peaceful.
Tight security is in place for this phase of Lok Sabha polls. Security forces have taken extra caution at some of the areas, including Srinagar, for the polling. 2 days ago, explosions near the venue of Farooq Abdullah's rally has raised the security bar for the polling at this Lok Sabha constituency. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more on this, we'll go across to our correspondents. First, Rajkamal Rao, who is joining us from Hyderabad, and Shyam Sundar on phone line, who is joining us from Kolkata. Raj, coming to you first. Telangana will be witnessing assembly as well as Lok Sabha elections tomorrow. So, will there be any difference for the voters, or the voting pattern, or the issues will differ for the voters who will be casting their votes tomorrow?
Generally, Smriti, when both Lok Sabha and Assembly elections happen at the same time, generally people tend towards local issues, because in Andhra Pradesh, both in Telangana and Simandhra, the operation of elections is MP candidates, they generally encourage their MLA candidates to campaign heavily, and MLA candidates get MP candidates their party votes. In that case, generally people tend towards local issues because they are focusing on their MLA candidate, and in rural areas where backwardness is more, sometimes MP candidates don't even campaign because Lok Sabha constituency is a large constituency. So generally MLAs focus more on the places, so their issues matter and their local issues matter a lot, Smriti.
And Raj, thank you so much for giving your inputs, and I'll go across to Shyam right now. Shyam, apart from women's safety and Shada scam, which are the other big issues which the people of West Bengal in the 9 seats will be voting for tomorrow's elections?
Well, Smriti, as far as these Lok Sabha elections are concerned, opposition is raising many local issues, but if we talk about big issues, two big issues are there. Shada chit fund scam, because many Trinamool Congress leaders are named in that scam. Though Mamata Banerjee is defending her party, and she is alleging that in the time of left front government, these chit fund companies took root in West Bengal, and the left front ignored the rise of the chit fund companies in West Bengal. But yes, this issue is time and again coming to haunt Mamata Banerjee, though she is very aggressive when she is replying, and she is claiming that repaying the money to the investors. And that's why she is opposing CBI inquiry in the case, because if the case goes to CBI, then again the start and repayment to the investors will stop. But then again, one of her candidates in these elections is questioned by ED. So she looks slightly defensive on this issue. And another major issue is women's security, of course. It was a very famous rape case, Park Street. But still, there are many other local issues also. But it seems that Mamata Banerjee is able to, defend herself and her party, and it looks like the Congress has an edge in these Lok Sabha elections over left parties, Congress and BJP.
Shyam, thank you so much for joining us and giving us all that ground report from West Bengal. And moving ahead, as the Lok Sabha elections enter the last leg, all eyes will be on some of the biggest names in fray. On Wednesday, BJP's Prime Ministerial nominee Narendra Modi will be contesting from Vadodara. Party chiefs of the two biggest national parties are also in fray in this phase. Here is a look at who will face polls in the crucial 7th phase.
In terms of the number of heavyweights, the 7th phase of polls will see some of the biggest names contesting. Some of them are incidentally first-timers. BJP's Narendra Modi and Arun Jaitley are among them. For Modi, this is his first venture as a contestant in Lok Sabha polls. He will be challenged by Congress candidate Madhusudan Mistry in Vadodara, Gujarat. Though Jaitley has been a member of Rajya Sabha, this will be his first test as a Lok Sabha contestant. He will take on Congress candidate Captain Amrinder Singh in Amritsar. Both Congress and BJP's party presidents will be in fray in this phase as well. Sonia Gandhi is seeking a re-election from Rai Bareli. With no big names contesting against her, she is expected to hold her fort. However, BJP President Rajnath Singh will have his task cut out when he contests from UP's prestigious Lucknow seat. He will be challenged by Congress candidate Rita Bahuguna Joshi. Ever since the Ram Temple movement took off in 1991, BJP has never lost this seat. Apart from these, there are some other heavyweights in fray too. In Uttar Pradesh, BJP's Murli Manohar Joshi is in fray from Kanpur seat and Uma Bharti from Jhansi. Joshi will face tough contest from Union Minister Sri Prakash Jaiswal. Uma Bharti will take on another Union Minister Pradeep Jainaditya. Union Minister Jitin Prasada and Congress's PL Punia are some of the other big Congress names in fray in UP. In Bihar, it will be crucial test for Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's JDU. Party Chief Sharad Yadav will be in fray from Madhepura. He will be challenged by RJD's Pappu Yadav. In Telangana, TRS Chief K. Chandrasekhar Rao is hoping to make the most after formation of the new state. Congress is pinning hopes on sitting MPs like Jaipal Reddy. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And all the 13 Lok Sabha seats in Punjab will be voting on Wednesday, where Congress is facing anti-incumbency. The fate of 253 candidates will be decided by close to 2 crore voters. Aam Aadmi Party made addition to the high decibel canvassing by fielding contestants against the two main parties at all the 13 seats. Some 180 companies of Central Security Forces have been deployed, besides 1 lakh each of police personnel and polling staff. In 2009 polls, Congress won 8 of the 13 seats. The BJP-SAD alliance could win only 5, out of which only the 1 seat was won by BJP's Navjot Singh Sidhu. And for more on this, I'll go across to my correspondent Vishal Dahiya, who is joining us from Amethi. Vishal, in 2009 elections, Congress won 8 seats. So what is the challenge for the Congress this time around?
Well, quite a difficult one, Smriti. If you look at it that way, the number of seats going and the areas which are going to polls tomorrow significantly two states, that's Punjab and Gujarat. These are the two states where BJP had an upper hand in Punjab in an alliance with the Shiromani Akali Dal, but then in Gujarat it's BJP, and since it's the home state of BJP's Prime Minister candidate, who is also the Chief Minister of Gujarat, that's Narendra Modi, obviously all eyes will be are looking towards these two states. All the seats of these two states are going to polls tomorrow. In addition to that, there is no dearth of VIP candidates in this particular phase. Although the total number of seats are just 89, we have the presidents of both national parties. That's BJP and Congress, Rajnath Singh from Lucknow, Sonia Gandhi from Raebareli, and as you listed out, BJP's Prime Minister candidate himself, Narendra Modi from Vadodara, as well as the man who vacated the other seat for him in Varanasi, that's Murli Manohar Joshi. Right. He is in the fray from Kanpur, the nearby seat. Then we have several other big guns who are going to be in the fray tomorrow, and their fate will be locked. But then what remains to be really seen in this phase of election is obviously going to be another factor which we have witnessed in the last 6 phases of the general elections. That's the voter turnout. There has been a high voter turnout in several areas, and specifically in urban areas also the percentage of voters has improved significantly. What will be worth watching would be as to what kind of voter turnout we might witness tomorrow, specifically in the state of Gujarat and Punjab as well.
Vishal, thank you so much for joining us and giving us that piece of information. And moving ahead, Uttar Pradesh will see some intriguing contests in this phase of polls. With 14 seats at stake, this phase could decide who will have the last laugh in the state, which sends 80 MPs to the centre. Congress virtually swept the central UP seats in 2009, winning Unnao, Dhaurara, Raebareli, Kanpur and Barabanki. The one seat the party got out of central UP was Jhansi in Bundelkhand. The BJP has a lot of scope to gain in the area, which comprises central UP and large parts of Bundelkhand, and where it had done poorly last time. Amid heat wave in most parts of India this summer, political heat is also rising in the last leg of elections. National leaders of different parties are heading towards the hill states to intensify campaign for their party candidates. The final battle started today with Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi addressing 3 rallies in Uttarakhand, while BJP's Prime Ministerial candidate Narendra Modi addressed rallies in Himachal Pradesh.
The battle between the two main electoral rivals reaching a peak in the last 2 phases. Uttar Pradesh, the hill of states of Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh are all seeing a parade of star campaigners from leading political parties. On Tuesday, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi addressed 3 rallies in Uttarakhand's Kashipur, Almora and Gauchar districts.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने किसी एक जात की राजनीति नहीं की, किसी एक प्रदेश की राजनीति नहीं की, किसी एक धर्म की राजनीति नहीं की. हमने हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति की है.
Rahul's sister Priyanka herself addressed a rally in his own constituency Amethi. Directly targeting the BJP's prime ministerial candidate, she told Narendra Modi to stop making immature remarks.
राहुल जी का मजाक उड़ाते हैं, कभी उन्हें नमूना कहते हैं, कभी उनकी तुलना किसी हास्य अभिनेता के साथ करते हैं, कभी उनको शहजादे कहते हैं. तो मेरे मन में ये बात आती है कि आपने तो प्रधानमंत्री बनने की आस रखी हुई है, आस बनाई है, लगाई हुई है, तो इस बचपने में क्यों पढ़ते हैं?
Narendra Modi addressed his first election rally in Himachal Pradesh's Palampur district. Modi also addressed 3 other rallies in the state. Modi appealed to voters to extend him support and helping his party win 300 seats. 38 candidates are in the fray for the 4 Lok Sabha seats from the state that will go to polls on 7th of May.
हिमाचल में आए सोमनाथ शर्मा का नाम लेते ही सीना चौड़ा हो जाता है. विक्रम बत्रा को याद करे तो मन कहता है दिल मांगे मोर. और वही विक्रम बत्रा की बात मुझे कहती है कि इस चुनाव में दिल मांगे मोर.
In Uttar Pradesh, BSP chief Mayawati also addressed a rally in Bahraich district.
Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And with that, time for a very short break. More election news on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching India Votes, and yoga guru Ramdev sank deeper into trouble after he was booked under the stringent SC/ST Act for his controversial comments on Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi. He is likely to be arrested as the law hands out high penalties for practicing or preaching untouchability. The Election Commission too cancelled Ramdev's campaign for the BJP in Himachal Pradesh and Amethi, effectively shutting down his promotion of saffron party candidates. Ramdev had already apologized for the remarks that sparked political war of words between Congress and its allies and BJP.
देखिए, बाबा रामदेव जिस तरह से पूरे हिंदुस्तान में जहर फैला रहे थे अपनी वाणी द्वारा, योग तो कहने की बात थी, पर मेन मुद्दा उनका मोदी के लिए वोट कबाड़ना था, लोगों को कन्विंस करना था, और जिस तरह की भाषा वो बार बार इस्तेमाल कर रहे थे, और अभी तो हद ही कर दी उनने, जिस तरह से महिलाओं का और दलितों का अपमान किया, राहुल जी का अपमान किया। निश्चित ही SC/ST एट्रॉसिटी एक्ट्स के तहत उनका FIR दर्ज होनी चाहिए और गिरफ्तारी होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि ऐसे व्यक्ति की सही जगह जेल है।
देखिए, चुनाव आयोग अपना काम कर रहा है। चुनाव आयोग को अगर किसी तरह की कोई हमसे कोई चीज जानकारी होगी तो जरूर देंगे, और चुनाव आयोग निष्पक्ष ढंग से भयमुक्त माहौल में चुनाव कराए, ये हम चाहते हैं। और अगर कांग्रेस पार्टी या कोई और दल कोई गलत शिकायत करता है तो उसका भी दूध का दूध पानी का पानी चुनाव आयोग को करना चाहिए। और योग गुरु बाबा रामदेव पर हमले हो रहे हैं, उन्होंने जो कहा उस पर माफी मांग ली, उसको उन्होंने वापस ले लिया और उसका अर्थ का अनर्थ लगाया गया।
A Jharkhand court has suspended the order for the arrest of BJP leader Giriraj Singh till May 3rd for his alleged hate speech during campaigning. The court issued the order after Giriraj Singh filed a petition for his anticipatory bail. 2 FIRs were lodged against him, one in Bokaro and other in Deoghar, on the instruction of the Election Commission. Giriraj Singh is the BJP's Lok Sabha candidate from Nawada constituency in Bihar. On Monday, a Bokaro court had denied anticipatory bail to him in the same case. It had issued an arrest warrant on April 23rd against Giriraj Singh. Locals in northern Telangana region demanded the government to provide employment opportunities for youth. Telangana agitation in last few years has affected business in the state. Our correspondent Rajkamal Rao travelled in 4 districts of northern Telangana to get a perspective.
This very location in Hyderabad is known for its culture. The old city area is a picture of communal harmony with Muslims and people from North India living together. People in this area are traditionally seen as silent voters who do not disclose their political loyalties.
Telangana state has become a reality now. Now the state assembly is going for polls. What is the situation on ground and what do people expect from the government? We'll travel in the state and try to find out the pulse of the people.
We interacted with some local businessmen in the old city to get an idea of their demands. After several trials, one auto driver came forward to interact.
तेलंगाना से कुछ नहीं अपने को, ना ये पार्टियों से कुछ नहीं है अपने को, हिंदू मुस्लिम में कुछ भी नहीं है। जो भी करना है अपने लिए करना है, जिसको डालना है वोट उसको ही डालना है, बस। सरकार से कोई उम्मीद नहीं है। सरकार से कोई उम्मीद नहीं है अपने को।
A local shopkeeper looked optimistic about the newly born state. Some shopkeepers believe that Hyderabad can grow on its own and does not require government support.
जो गरीबों के हमदर्द हो, उनके मसाइल को हल करे, उनके जो भी रोजगार के माशी मसाइल है उसको हल कर, ऐसी सरकार चाहिए जो गरीबों का साथ दे, ना क्या अमीरों का।
Hyderabad is the only city that provides employment to half of Telangana's population. It has several engineering colleges, but placements have suffered a bad hit in the last 5 years. Students want a clear assurance from government and install confidence in them.
इधर हैदराबाद में ये दिक्कत होती थी कि तेलंगाना, जब भी तेलंगाना बनता था उसके राइट्स ये कुछ भी होता था तो यहाँ पे IT कंपनीज आ नहीं पाती थी। अब अगर ये तेलंगाना स्टेट अलग हो जाएगा, शायद वो सब बंद हो जाने के बाद IT कंपनीज इधर आए, यहाँ के लड़कों को ज़्यादा जॉब्स मिले, IT डेवलप, जैसा बैंगलोर में डेवलप हुआ है वहाँ का सेक्टर, वैसे यहाँ का सेक्टर भी डेवलप हो, यहाँ पे भी एक हब बने, IT हब भी हब बने, ऐसा हम चाहते हैं, हमारी एक्सपेक्टेशन यही है बस।
From Hyderabad, we move towards north of the districts of Karimnagar and Adilabad. Adilabad is the most backward area in Telangana. Farmer suicides are a major concern in this district. Farmer leader Anjaya says electricity is a major concern for them. On the other hand, Karimnagar, once notoriously known for Maoist, is now a changed city. The district has good educational institutions but lacks employment opportunities. Northern Telangana has a significant population of Muslims and Dalits. Muslims in this area want reservation in government jobs so that their community can be empowered. Northern Telangana has contributed significantly to the struggle for the new state. It has provided many activists and intellectuals who gave crucial role to the movement. Now, at a time when the centre and state both going for polls, they demand equal justice and fair share in the state.
We have travelled in northern part of Telangana to understand the crucial political issues this time. But it turned out to be a simple political demand for education and demand for good employment opportunities in this state. With camera persons Ashwini and Manoj, Raj Kamal Rao, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's all we have for you. News and programming continues on Rajya Sabha TV.